Have you ever sat down to give a reading and realized that your mediumship isn't working in the same way that it used to? In this video, I'm sharing why your mediumship will never stay the same, plus one of the top signs that your mediumship is becoming more defined. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell as well, and that way you'll be notified the next time that I release a new video. I share recordings of my readings so you can catch me in action, spiritual how-tos, meditations, and so much more. I remember that when I first started becoming aware of my abilities as a medium, that I was completely wowed and blown away by the spirit world. They really hooked me in by blowing my mind with the things that I saw, felt, sensed, heard, etc. In the beginning, one of the first signs that let me know that I was linking in with a spirit was the fact that my heart would start beating really, really fast and I would be filled with excitable energy. But then one day, as I continued giving readings, I realized that those things weren't happening anymore. In many of my earlier readings, I would receive a lot of my spiritual impressions clairvoyantly and clairaudiently, and I was a symbols girl as well and loving it. Soon enough, I would go through times where for a week or maybe 2 weeks, everything seemed a lot fuzzier. When the day before I would have given a reading and it would have been crystal clear. What was happening? Did I do something wrong? Was I losing my gift? I called up a mentor of mine to ask her, is this normal? What's happening to me? And she laughed and she just said, listen, you're progressing. She also gave me a powerful analogy. She said, imagine that when you're working, you are in a particular room. And then as you go for your next upgrade, you have to walk through a hall. And the hall is where things feel fuzzy or cloudy. And then all of a sudden you open the door into a much bigger room than you were working in before. And things are crystal clear again, but you can do even more. That's the cycles that mediums go through. And your mediumship will always constantly change and grow because you're changing and growing, and spirit is always working with you to expand your toolbox, to expand that frame of reference and your awareness. And here's the best news of all. Even though things are always changing, the quality of your readings as you put the work in, and as long as you put the work in, will become higher quality and more consistently too. It was a huge relief to me when she told me this. And the next time I went through a cloudy hallway, instead of feeling really nervous and scared, I felt excited. Ooh, I'm getting an upgrade soon. Until the next stage of change came along. One of the most significant changes in my mediumship came when I realized during readings that I rarely had time to ask a spirit any questions at all. There wasn't much time or space between impressions. It all would come without stopping. And I wasn't even taking notice of how I was receiving my spiritual impressions any longer, clairvoyantly, clairaudiently, clairsentiently. Sure, I'd be aware, okay, I just heard something clairaudiently there, or I just saw something here, or I'm feeling somewhere in my body, how they passed. But mostly, it continues to feel more claircognizant, and I hear myself speaking words the same way that my sitter will hear me speaking them for the first time. So, of course, jumped back on the phone to a mentor, shared my sob story, and she shared something so incredibly helpful that really set me right again. And that was, as you become more precise with your mediumship, you are blending more and more closely with spirit. This is why you can recognize quite a bit of it as clairsentient. But what you really want to become aware of is that the more you refine your craft, the less you will feel and the more you will know. I found myself wishing that someone had just told me this sooner, because perhaps it wouldn't have worried me so much when I had first experienced those changes. What changes have you seen in your mediumship over time? Share below. I'd love to hear from you. And one thing I'd love to remind you as your mediumship changes is that you can always go to your spirit team and you can say to them, can you let me in on what's happening here? What do I need to understand? What do I need to shift and change? How are you helping me develop at this time? The best news is Changes in your mediumship or having a cloudy period usually only lasts about a week or two. But here's something to put a lot of thought and awareness into. Do not get attached to how you get your information or the way that you sense that you are connected to spirit. Because I promise you that if you rely on a certain way of knowing that you're linked in or a certain way of getting information from spirit, I promise you that it won't stay that way forever. That's why I never rely on any particular sense or experience to let me know that I am connected to spirit. I do my best to trust it no matter how it comes or how I sense it, and to read in as many different situations and without preceding ritual as often as possible. That allows me to become more and more versatile and without relying on any particular way of receiving in order to have that trust in myself and that trust with spirit. If you're interested in strengthening your clairs so you can speak to spirit, go ahead and download my free guide below. It's called 3 Easy Exercises to Strengthen Your Clairs and Speak to Spirit. You can also check out my free training. It's called 3 Essential Practices to Strengthen Your Skills as a Medium. Check out mediumshipwithmel.com if you'd like to book a private reading, a group reading, or learn right along with me in my development circle. And don't forget to check out this video next. And if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, and once again, hit that bell if you'd like to be notified the next time I release a new video on all things mediumship.